Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you never miss any video lesson from Rao's IAS Study Circle. Join the official Telegram channel of Rao's IAS Study Circle to stay updated and get all the materials on the Telegram. The link to the channel can be found in the description box. Hello and welcome to Daily News Simplified, an answer to what, why and how of newspaper reading from a UPSC Civil Services examination perspective. Now today let's take up the New Delhi edition of the Hindu newspaper dated 27th May 2022. Now these are the list of the news which we will be taking up for today's discussion, and you can also find the timestamp in the YouTube description box below. So on this note, let's start our today's discussion from Civil Services Prelims and Mains perspective. Now before we start our discussion, there are two announcements for you. First, as you can see, is that the Pre-Pareekshan test 2022, that is the fourth Pre-Pareekshan, is now live, and the end date for this is 29th May at 9 p.m. So don't miss out on the test, as you can find this test on elearn.raois.com. And the second announcement is regarding the DNS quiz compilations which we have released on all the subjects. So go through those quiz, as these quiz have been compiled from January 2021 till April 2022. Now while going through these quiz, you can find out various important topics which we have discussed in the last 1.5 years on issues of current affairs on different subjects. So don't miss out on both, that is Pre-Pareekshan test and also the DNS yearly compilation on different subjects. Now the first news to be taken up appears as an editorial on page number 8. It says security in friendship. The Quad can help reshape economic alliances and regional security architecture. Now this editorial highlights about the importance of Quads, especially at a critical juncture with respect to invasion of Russia on Ukraine. Now the four members of the Quad, namely India, US, Japan and Australia, apart from being a democratic country, they also believe in open and free Indo-Pacific region and also an international rule-based order or a global order. Now all these aspects has been discussed quite in detail by Vaibhav sir few days back in the DNS, where he discussed not only about the importance of Quad but also certain challenges for Quad, since Quad is an informal group. So in this discussion, we'll go through some of the important steps which have been taken by the Quad summit which took place in Tokyo. Now regarding Quad, this particular question has been asked in the mains by UPSC in the year 2020. The question was, the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, that is Quad, is transforming itself into a trade bloc from a military alliance in the present times. Discuss. Now this question was asked because Quad is often termed as an Asian NATO, especially by China. And China believes that through this Quad, the four countries are trying to change the status quo with respect to the Indo-Pacific region. So these four like-minded democratic countries have come together not only as a forum to ensure a free and open Indo-Pacific region, but also to ensure rule-based order, especially targeting China. However, apart from this one main fact with respect to regional security in the Indo-Pacific region, the four members have also decided to cooperate on number of issues. Now the Quad members have formed 6 leader-level working groups for different areas for cooperation, and these different areas include COVID-19 response and global health security, climate change, critical and emerging technologies, cooperation in the field of cyber security, as all the Quad members faces cybersecurity threats, particularly from China. They have decided to cooperate in the field of space technologies and also with respect to infrastructure. So these Quad members are cooperating on number of areas apart from ensuring an open and free Indo-Pacific region. Now this topic gets covered under GS paper 2, especially with respect to bilateral, regional and global groupings and agreements involving India or affecting India's interest, and also its impact, that is impact of India joining Quad with respect to India's declining relationship with China. So it also gets covered under India and its neighborhood relations. Now as Vaibhav sir has already discussed in detail about Quad, so in this news analysis, let's go through some of the major initiatives which were announced or taken during the Quad summit in Tokyo in 2022. And here one of the major initiative is Indo-Pacific Partnership for Maritime Domain Awareness, that is IPMDA. So this initiative aims to ensure peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region by providing or sharing accurate real-time maritime details. Now this will not only help to track movements in international waters, but it will also track dark ships or dark shipping. Now dark ships are such ships which cannot be identified as they have turned off their automatic identification system. So through this initiative, it will not only provide accurate and real-time maritime details, but it will also help to track such dark shipping networks. Further, this initiative will help to integrate the three regions, namely the Pacific Islands, the Southeast Asia, and the Indian Ocean region. And the Quad members have agreed to work in consultation with the Indo-Pacific nations and regional information fusion centers in the three main regions, namely the Pacific Islands, in the Southeast Asian region, and also in the Indian Ocean region. Further, this initiative will also help to improve ability of these countries to respond in climate or humanitarian disasters efforts. And effectively, by sharing these information, it will also help to combat illegal fishing in the international waters. Now, illegal fishing refers to such fishing activities conducted in international waters or any water without the permission of another country, or any fishing activities which contravenes or goes against any international law or fisheries law or any other agreements entered between different countries. So, the Indo-Pacific Partnership for Maritime Domain Awareness will also help to combat illegal fishing done without the permission of another countries. Now, another major initiative includes the Quad Fellowship, which will sponsor 100 American, Australian, Indian, and Japanese students to study in the United States each year in the field of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, so that they can graduate from prestigious universities in United States. And another initiative includes the QChamp initiatives, which stands for Quad Climate Change Adaptation and Mitigation Package. So it basically aims at two aspects, namely adaptation and mitigation with respect to climate change. And the various efforts under the QChamp initiative includes the four countries aims for a green shared corridor in order to reduce emissions so that they can develop green shipping and ports. Another initiative includes the Clean Energy Corporation with respect to methane and clean hydrogen emission from natural gas sectors. The four countries aim to strengthen clean energy supply chain through the Sydney Energy Forum. The four countries aims for a climate smart agriculture. They also aim to reduce disaster risk reduction through CDRI, which is Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. And the Quad members also aims to cooperate in clean fuel ammonia and carbon recycling efforts. Further, in the field of infrastructure, the four countries have provided a $50 billion package for the next 5 years to develop the infrastructure sector for the four countries. So these are some of the major initiatives undertaken at the Quad Summit in Tokyo in 2022. Thus, this topic becomes important both from the prelims and mains perspective. With this understanding, let's take up the next topic for discussion. Now, the next news appears as an article on page number 8. It says, citing the finishing line in measles rubella elimination. There are special reasons why measles rubella elimination can be achieved together by July-August 2023. So this article highlights about the importance of eliminating measles and rubella, which are virus-based diseases, and it impacts the children and also the mothers. Now, the Government of India had earlier set the target of elimination of measles and rubella by the year 2015. However, that target could not be achieved. Hence, the target was revised and the year was fixed at 2020. However, the efforts of the Government of India were impacted because of COVID-19, and because of this, the target to eliminate measles and rubella have been shifted from the year 2020 to 2023. Now, the article says that MR vaccines, that is measles rubella vaccine, which is a part of universal immunization program, has already achieved much, and in that sense, it becomes easier to eliminate measles and rubella. So, the target is elimination. Now, here we need to understand that what is the meaning of elimination of measles and rubella. Now, elimination of both these diseases means zero transmission of measles and rubella virus, and this must be followed by zero clinical diseases, which is sustained over a period of 3 years. So there are two important aspects to eliminate measles and rubella. these two aspects are vaccination and surveillance of the disease, so as to find out whether the disease actually exists or has been eliminated with the efforts of vaccination. So the efforts to eliminate measles and rubella have been started from schools, as schools have been made the center of immunization because it is easy to track the children when they attend the school. And the schools have also been chosen because of less adverse effects of both these vaccines. Basically, it is a single vaccine which gives coverage against rubella and measles diseases. And here it is in this regard, the author suggests that the government should focus on making district as the nerve center, which should be coordinated by the respective state governments, as this will ensure vaccination of children below the age of 5 years. However, with respect to rubella vaccine, since the rubella disease is a slow transmitter, hence it exists in children for a longer period of time, and because of this reason, vaccination can be provided even to adolescents up to 15 years of age. So the target audience for measles rubella are children up to 5 years and also adolescents up to 15 years. And this includes both boys and girls, as this will also help to prevent future spread of measles and rubella diseases, as disease can be transmitted from the mother to the baby through the placenta. Now this transmission of disease from mother to the baby impacts the health of the baby, not only in terms of their physical health but also their cognitive ability, that is their mental health. So talking about the impact of measles and rubella disease, both these diseases are caused by virus, and both these disease results in cognitive impairment of child and also of unborn babies, as this disease can be transmitted from the mother to the unborn children. Now measles has been said to be a very dangerous disease, as according to the data, it has resulted in the death of 1% of children below 5 years of age. So because of this, it's very important to eliminate both measles and rubella. Now with respect to understanding the difference between measles and rubella, more or less they show similar symptoms. However, measles is more dangerous or more deadly as compared to rubella virus. So the measles virus affect or infects the respiratory system, whereas the rubella virus infects the lymph nodes, eyes and also skin. Now both these viruses results in fever and also resulting in rashes on the skin, which is red in color. So with respect to measles, it starts with white spots leading to rash and red spots in the body, whereas rubella also results in red or pink rashes in the body, which begins from the face and then leads to the whole body. Now regarding the impact of measles, it is more severe and life-threatening and can also lead to death of children, whereas rubella can be said to be generally mild. However, precautions needs to be taken by the pregnant woman, as it may lead to children born with severe defects. Now these defects includes heart disorders, brain damage, deafness and blindness for rubella, and with respect to measles, also pneumonia and diarrhea along with brain damage, deafness and blindness. So we see that it impacts the health of a child, and that's why complete elimination of measles and rubella is important. So based on this understanding, this article says that what needs to be done in order to eliminate measles and rubella completely. So here the author says that both aspects of vaccination and surveillance are important, and in this regard, surveillance will help us to find out or pinpoint such districts where prevalence of measles or rubella is more, and hence we can target such districts for immunization at an earlier stage. Thus, surveillance along with vaccination will ensure elimination of measles and rubella from all the districts of the country. And this vaccine is provided in 2 doses, where the first dose is given to a baby between 9 to 11 months and second dose after 2nd year of their life. Now the author suggests that in order to achieve the target to eliminate measles and rubella by 2023 July or August, district magistrate needs to activate a task force mechanism to ensure vaccination, and here the vaccination will be managed by the district immunization officer, and this effort will be aided right from top till the bottom, which is from the Immunization Division of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare of the Union Government, which will provide support to respective state governments, and the respective state governments will galvanize all the districts so that the districts provide these MR vaccines to the targeted audience. Now this article concludes by saying that since measles rubella vaccine is a part of universal immunization program, and hence the UIP, that is Universal Immunization Program, has maintained 85% measles rubella second dose coverage. So there are better chances to achieve zero transmission of measles and rubella if vaccines are provided in due course of time to children below the age of 5 years and also adolescents up to the age of 15 years. Thus, this article suggests that we have a much better chance this time to eliminate measles and rubella if vaccination efforts are properly coordinated at district levels by respective state governments, which is fully supported by the Immunization Division of Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now, this topic becomes important mainly from the perspective of GS Paper 2 under social justice, as question in your mains can be asked regarding welfare schemes for the vulnerable sections and also issues relating to health. And in your prelims, question can also be asked with respect to diseases from the section of science and technology. Now, so far we have mentioned that measles and rubella vaccine forms part of universal immunization program. So on this note, let's understand certain basic facts with respect to universal immunization program and also mission Indradhanush. So this program basically started in 1978 in the name of Expanded Program on Immunization, which was then renamed as Universal Immunization Program in 1985. Further, in 1992, this Universal Immunization Program became a part of Child Survival and Safe Motherhood Program, and in 1997 it was included in the ambit of National Reproductive and Child Health Program. Now, from 2005, since the launch of National Rural Health Mission, UIP, that is Universal Immunization Program, has become an integral part of National Rural Health Mission. And under UIP, immunization is provided free of cost against vaccine preventable diseases, that is such disease which can be prevented through vaccination. However, new vaccines have also been added. So these vaccines are provided against the disease of diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, polio, measles, rubella, severe form of childhood tuberculosis, hepatitis B, and meningitis, and pneumonia caused by Haemophilus influenza type B. Now, subnationally, vaccine is given against 3 diseases, namely rotavirus diarrhea, pneumococcal pneumonia, and Japanese encephalitis. Now, here it says that rotavirus vaccine and pneumococcal conjugate vaccine are in the process of expansion, whereas Japanese encephalitis vaccine is provided only in endemic districts, that is where the disease is prevalent. Now, under the UIP, new vaccines have also been acted, which includes inactivated polio vaccine, basically to end polio completely, rotavirus vaccine, measles rubella vaccine, which we have just discussed in this article, pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, tetanus, and adult diphtheria, that is TD vaccine. Another important aspect highlighted here is that a child is said to be fully immunized if the child receives all due vaccines as per a national immunization schedule within the first year age of child. So the national immunization schedule provides for a list of these vaccines which is to be provided at specific intervals. Now, because of slow coverage of universal immunization program, the government of India launched mission Indradhanush in 2014 to ensure full immunization coverage, and later the government also launched the intensified mission Indradhanush to ensure that if any gaps has remained with respect to vaccination, then such gaps needs to be fulfilled. So the government of India launched mission Indradhanush in 2014 to achieve full immunization coverage for all children up to 2 years of age and pregnant women at a rapid pace. So under mission Indradhanush, all vaccines which are part of UIP, that is Universal Immunization Program, are provided as per the National Immunization Schedule. And this mission was also identified as one of the flagship schemes under Gram Swaraj Abhiyan and Extended Gram Swaraj Abhiyan, which also includes 112 aspirational districts. Now, vaccine under mission Indradhanush is provided against 7 diseases. These are diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, tuberculosis, polio, hepatitis B, and measles. Now, from mission Indradhanush, the government of India further intensified the program and launched intensified mission Indradhanush to provide rapid push for immunization program. So it was launched in October 2017 to further intensify the immunization program of the government with the aim to reach each and every child up to 2 years of age and all those pregnant women who have been left uncovered under the routine immunization program. So basically this intensified push or intensified mission Indradhanush is to cover all gaps which might have been created because of COVID-19 or any other reasons. So the idea is to provide immunization through vaccination against these preventable diseases. So it highlights that focus of intensified mission Indradhanush is to improve immunization coverage in selected districts and cities to ensure full immunization to more than 90% by December 2018. Now recently the government has launched the intensified mission Indradhanush 4.0, under which 3 rounds have been planned to catch up on the gaps that might have emerged due to COVID-19 pandemic. So the idea is to provide complete immunization to such children below the age of 2 years and also pregnant women against the 7 diseases. And for intensified mission Indradhanush, various districts have been identified across states and union territories. And these districts have been identified based on vaccination coverage as per the latest National Family Health Survey 5 report, Health Management Information System data, and as per burden of vaccine preventable diseases. So these are some of the important highlights with respect to Universal Immunization Program, Mission Indradhanush, and also Intensified Mission Indradhanush. Thus this topic becomes important both from our prelims and mains perspective, and it is quite possible that question can be asked in the upcoming prelims examination with respect to Mission Indradhanush or Intensified Mission Indradhanush or Universal Immunization Program. With this, let's take up the next article for discussion. The next news to be taken up appears on page number 12. Now this news says, don't remove army from the RTI Act, that is Right to Information Act. So the government is thinking to add the Indian Army in Schedule 2 of the RTI Act so that they can be exempted from the RTI Act. So in this regard, you need to know about Schedule 2 of the RTI Act as has been mentioned in this particular news. So Schedule 2 basically lists out those organizations on whom the RTI Act does not apply. Basically, these institutions or organizations are exempted from RTI. So a request has been made by Indian ex-service leagues, as they have given number of reasons as to why the government should not add Indian Army in Schedule 2 of RTI Act. Basically as to why the government should not exempt the Indian Army from the RTI Act. So the reasons provided by the Indian Ex-Service League is the fact that RTI Act helps to maintain transparency with respect to functioning of the army. Now RTI Act also acts as a powerful tool for veterans and also family members to seek information and also documents and also service records of different army members. Further, the RTI Act also helps to address grievances of retired personnel from the Indian Army with respect to their service conditions, and it also addresses their grievances regarding pension matters. So if the Indian Army is placed under Schedule 2 of RTI Act, then all these information cannot be requested under the RTI Act, and this might make it difficult for serving people and also retired personnel of Indian Army to seek information, and this might increase litigation. Now, one of the concern of the government as to why it wants to include Indian Army under Schedule 2 is regarding disclosure of sensitive information. Now, for this purpose, the Indian Ex-Services League says that Section 8 and 9 of the RTI Act provides enough or adequate protection to such sensitive information, and the government under these provisions cannot allow disclosure of such sensitive information. So there is a mechanism under RTI Act whereby any sensitive information cannot be disclosed to the public even if the public so demands. So there is adequate protection with respect to disclosure of sensitive information, and that is why the members of Indian Ex-Service League have written to the Prime Minister against any consideration by the government to remove the armed forces from the purview of Right to Information Act. Now, Section 24 of RTI Act mentions about Act not to apply in certain organizations. It says that nothing contained in this Act shall apply to the intelligence and security organizations specified in the second schedule, being organizations established by the central government or any information furnished by such organization to that government. So basically whatever organization have been listed out in the second schedule of RTI Act are exempted from RTI provisions. So the list of institution includes Intelligence Bureau, Research and Analysis Wing including its technical wing, namely the Aviation Research Center of the Cabinet Secretariat, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, Central Economic Intelligence Bureau, Directorate of Enforcement, Narcotics Control Bureau, Special Frontier Force of the Cabinet Secretariat, Border Security Force, Central Reserve Police Force, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, CISF, that is Central Industrial Security Force, National Security Guards, Assam Rifles, Sashastra Seema Bal, Directorate General of Income Tax, National Technical Research Organization, Financial Intelligence Unit of India, Special Protection Group, that is SPG, Defense Research and Development Organization, that is DRDO, Border Road Development Board, National Security Council Secretariat, Central Bureau of Investigation, National Investigative Agency, National Intelligence Grid, and Strategic Forces Command. So all these institutions mentioned under the second schedule of RTI Act are exempted from RTI provisions. Now since we have mentioned about the second schedule of RTI Act, hence you must also know about the first schedule of RTI Act, which provides for form of oath or affirmation to be made by Chief Information Commissioner, Information Commissioner, the State Chief Information Commissioner and also the State Information Commissioner. So please remember first schedule and second schedule of RTI Act mainly from your prelims perspective. Now section 24 of RTI Act also adds another provision. It says that if information pertains to the allegations of corruption and human rights violation, they shall not be excluded under this subsection. So basically if there are any issues pertaining to corruption or human right violation, then exemption under RTI Act will not be applicable. Now another important aspect from your prelims perspective is that the central government can either add another institution in the second schedule or remove any institution from the second schedule. However, in either case, every notification issued under subsection 2, that is this one, shall be laid before each House of Parliament, that is before the Lok Sabha and also Raj Sabha. So here the provision says that the central government may by notification in the official gazette amend the schedule by including any other intelligence or security organization established by that government or omitting therefrom any organization already specified. Basically either they can add any organization in the second schedule or omit any organization or remove any organization from the second schedule. And any addition or omission from the second schedule of any organization, such notification shall be laid before each House of the Parliament. So this is with respect to section 24 of the RTI Act. Thus this topic mainly becomes important from your prelims perspective and becomes a part of polity and governance, and in your mains examination gets covered under GS paper 2. Now the next news to be taken up appears on page number 14. Now this news highlights that app-based attendance hits rural workers, and this is regarding MGNREGA workers. So this news highlights about the National Mobile Monitoring Software app. Now earlier this app which was being used by MGNREGA workers were voluntary in nature. However, from May 16, this app has been made mandatory, and updating the photographs of the MGNREGA workers is directly linked to the payment aspects. So this app permits taking real-time attendance of workers at MGNREGA worksite along with geo-tagged photograph, which will increase citizens' oversight of the program, besides potentially enabling processing payments faster. Now why the issue of payment is highlighted here? Because uploading of photograph on this app registers their attendance, and this attendance ensures their payment. So the problem highlighted in this article is that because of technical glitch or at times due to other reasons, when photo of the workers are not uploaded twice, that too geotagged, then it impacts their payment of wages. Now a geotagged photograph refers to a photograph which is tagged along with the location or tagged along with the geographical location. So uploading geotagged photographs by MGNREGA workers implies that they also have to share their location of work. Now, another problem highlighted in this article is that most of the women in rural areas do not have their own smartphone, and accordingly, they have to depend on the smartphone of their husbands. Now, it has been observed that the male members of the family, especially in the rural areas, do not want to share their phones with their wives. So, this has resulted in exclusion of such women from work. So, in this backdrop, this news says that made mandatory, that is, this app has been made mandatory for MGNREGA from May 16. With many having no phone, women are the worst hit. The app was introduced by the Ministry of Rural Development to ensure transparency and proper monitoring of MGNREGA scheme, and also to remove ghost identities, especially with respect to payments, as now uploading of photographs is linked to the payment of wages of MGNREGA workers. Now, despite the noble intention of the Ministry of Rural Development, still there are certain problems which are faced on a day-to-day basis by MGNREGA workers. Now, these problems are regarding patchy internet connection in the rural areas. Now, this impact uploading of photographs on the app. Now, as we have already seen that this also impact their wages, as the workers have to upload their photo on the app twice along with geotagging. Now, another problem highlighted here is regarding lack of technical support at the ground level in the villages and also in the block in case the app does not work. Now, the MGNREGA workers are not so much tech savvy, and hence they would be needing any technical support in case there are any glitches or the app does not work. So, lack of any technical support results in not uploading of photographs on the app on a day-to-day basis. Now, this also impacts the payment of MGNREGA workers. Now, another problem highlighted is regarding the speed of the app and also strength of the server that creates troubles for the app with respect to uploading of photographs on a daily basis, that too along with geotagging. Now, another major problem highlighted in this article is regarding exclusion of women from work. Now, this is because most of the women do not have their own smartphones. And since geotagging and uploading of photographs have been made compulsory since May 16, hence these women have to depend on the mobile phones of their husband or other men in the families. So, lack of smartphones for the women have resulted in exclusion of women from the work. So, these are some of the problems which are faced on a daily basis by MGNREGA workers, especially after uploading and geotagging of photographs have been made compulsory through the National Mobile Monitoring Software app, which has been released by Ministry of Rural Development. So, this news highlights about the glitches which are being faced by MGNREGA workers because the attendance have been made compulsory to be uploaded through the National Mobile Monitoring Software app of the Ministry of Rural Development. Now, this topic becomes important mainly from the perspective of GS paper 2 under Polity and Governance. So, with this understanding, let's take up the question for the day. Now, based on our discussion, this becomes your practice question for the day. The question is, which of the following disease are not covered under the Universal Immunization Program? Options are A. Tetanus, B. Measles, C. Rubella, and D. COVID. Now, coming to the answer of yesterday, the question was, with reference to Medical Termination of Pregnancy Amendment Act 2021, consider the following statements. First, it has increased the upper gestation limit for rape survivors to 20 weeks. No, this is incorrect as it has been increased to 24 weeks. Second, it allows unmarried women to terminate a pregnancy caused due to failure of contraceptive method or device. Yes, this statement is correct. So the question was, which of the statements given above are correct? Hence the correct answer becomes B, that is 2 only, since the first statement is incorrect. So with this we come to an end to today's discussion. Thank you for watching DNS.